Everybody ready? Okay. We are going to start officially. So, welcome to the 99th Hong Kong WordPress Meetup. And someone told me that I should introduce myself at the beginning. So I'm the co-organizer, Victor Nip. And it's my pleasure to host this meeting for you. Now, you can see that this key visual is a little bit different from what we have used when we do the promotion of the meetup. And I'll let our speaker, Darren, to talk about it during his talk. So this is our agenda. We are now in the opening. Soon, Darren and Adam will present their topic of digital accessibility in WordPress. It will be followed by a general discussion of WordPress-related topics, but since we have started a little bit late, so I think we'll go straight to closing after that, after the talk. Then those who are interested can join us for dinner in a Hong Kong-style restaurant very nearby. And for photo sharing, if you have taken any pictures during the meetup, you can share with us by uploading them to Google Photos, and you can scan a QR code to do that. We're going to show this slide again at the end of the meetup, so you can scan the QR code at that time. Now, our sponsors. We would like to thank our sponsors who enable us to organize our meetups as best as we can. Kinsa is our event sponsor. They provide managed hosting for WordPress, which delivers speed, security, and scalability. As they put, simply the best hosting. And Cofis, thanks to Cofis Shared Office for sponsoring our venue. Cofis provides co-working space service and event space rental, among other services. We want to thank Cofis for providing the venue for a meetup for almost 100 times. Okay, now it is time for our featured talk, Digital Accessibility in WordPress. Let me give a brief introduction of our speakers. I'm sure they will tell you more about themselves in their presentation. Darren and Adam are from Melbourne, Australia. They are both working in Intopia. This is Darren. Darren is a customer engagement manager at Intopia. He helps his clients build accessibility and inclusive digital experiences. He has more than 25 years of experience in digital user experience and customer engagement. And then Adam. Adam is the co-founder and director of accessibility technologies at Intopia. He has more than 20 years of experience in digital accessibility, inclusive design, and web technologies. He is a leading accessibility practitioner in Australia. So today's topic, they will talk about why accessibility is important. They will share 4 key tips that you can apply to make your WordPress website more accessible in a very short period of time. Now, I have gone to many WordPress meetups and WordCamps, and I can tell you that I have only come across one topic about accessibility in those many times. It was a few years ago in WordCamp Europe during COVID, where everybody attended online. So when I got Darren's application to speak here, I was very happy with the topic, and I'm very happy that he and Adam today are here to deliver the talk to us live from Melbourne. Now, let me hand over the stage to Darren. So, Darren, the stage is yours.
Thank you, Victor. 大家好.
Hello.
So you had a lot of introduction of me already. All I'll say is I'm a MAC, Malaysian, Australian, Chinese. That's anything else you need to know. Disability is closer than you think. It's not about them and the people over there. So what I want you to do, if you can, and you will humor me, can I get you to raise your hands if you wear eyeglasses? Anyone wear eyeglasses? Yep, perfect. You have what we call an assistive technology. Now, who knows someone close with a disability? Can you raise your hands? Yep, can see a few hands. Great. Now, how about anyone with parents older than 50 years old? If you can raise your hands. Perfect. Right? So what I want to demonstrate is that disabilities is really very close to us. We know someone or we ourselves have a disability. My parents are 80 years old and definitely find it very difficult and challenging in their physical, cognitive, visual, and hearing abilities as well. Disability is a lot closer than you think. Next slide, please.
Darren, we haven't shared slides, so I'm just
Oh, we
gonna do
haven't
that
shared
now.
slides.
Yeah.
Please. Thank you.
So I'm hoping,
Yes, we can see that.
yep,
Perfect.
am I on the right
Too
slide for you?
far. Nope. Next one. Back. Thank you. This is
Oh,
my friend Arthur. Oh, that's my friend Arthur. Arthur is a wheelchair user in Hong Kong, and he was actually the one downstairs trying to get up. And I was visiting him in Hong Kong about 2 years ago. And one of the things I did was to explore Hong Kong and take a ride on the ding dings. I found it very, very tight, narrow. It's very steep. I know it's an older uh, big transport, but that would have not been accessible to him. It's not a very accessible means of transport. On the other hand, we were traveling around Hong Kong using the MTR, and we found that, and he was telling me that the MTR was highly and is highly accessible. We want to give everyone the equal ability to participate in society. That's the goal of inclusion. Digital technology is all around us, and essential services are being provided on technology platforms by governments and businesses around the world. Today, we'd like to challenge you to consider removing barriers and creating accessible digital experiences. That's digital accessibility. Next slide, please. If you attended this meetup in January and in March, this would not have been the first time you've heard about accessibility. Both the Malaysian speakers Z and Eves made a mention of accessibility in their presentations. Z pointed out that Page Speed Insights provides an accessibility score after a scan is conducted. Eves then also highlighted in his presentation that accessibility is a crucial part in creating a good customer experience. Eves also demonstrated a color contrast tool that you can use. In fact, we used a similar tool for this meetup. With Victor's permission, we replaced the previous meetup promotion image. You might have seen that change today. Because we used the color contrast tool and we found that the white text on the little light ring background could actually be an issue and cause an accessibility issue for people with visual impairments. Next slide, please. So tonight, you get two for a price of one. I'll cover the first topic, the why and what of accessibility, and Adam will give you some practical tips you can use when you're developing your WordPress sites. Accessibility is a very, very deep subject. I've been in this space for, as you've seen, many, many years, and I'm still learning a lot about it. Tonight, we'll give you an overview only, and please contact us and do get in touch, and we'll be happy to go deeper into any parts that you've heard about today. Next slide, please. Has anyone seen this before? Nope. Okay, next slide, please. So that is short for accessibility. How is it short for accessibility? Well, you just say Ali. There are 11 letters between A and Y. So in the industry, to sound like experts and you know what you're talking about, we just say Ali and we use this shortened form of it. So I'll promise give you another tip before I pass you over to Adam as well. Next slide, please. Now, as website developers, this matters for two reasons: compliance and being inclusive. From my experience, there are two main reasons why people come into it and talk to me a lot about accessibility. One is that perhaps your client says, I want to be compliant to the law, legislation, or I want to meet the accessibility standards, or I don't want to get sued and have negative publicity. Or you or your client are coming from a place of just being inclusive. You recognize that's important for everyone to participate in society, to participate in being able to access services and information online. And that is just the right thing to do. Next slide. There are five major types of disabilities: vision, to do with your sight; hearing, to do with sound; mobility, to do with your physical abilities; cognitive and neurological disability, to do with your brain; and then speech, to do with your voice. It's usually people with a permanent or ongoing impairments that we often think about when we're creating accessible experiences. Disability can be permanent, temporary, or situational. Temporary disabilities can impact on a person's life as they have to adjust to doing things differently for a while. Also consider that there are situational disabilities, such as perhaps a bartender who's working in a very loud environment, who may find that their hearing's impaired in doing their work. Next slide. Accessibility can affect anyone, even master gamblers. Who knows this classic Hong Kong TV series by TVB, Chin Wong, Chi Wong? Are you old enough? No, okay.
Yeah.
I grew up with this, and that shows how old I might be. I love this show. It follows the story about master gamblers starring Chow Yun Fat and Patrick C. I don't know how to say his name in Cantonese. Maybe you know, Victor.
Patrick C.
Patrick C. He's the main character, the guy in the sunglasses over there.
Sunglasses. Is it Jie?
I think so.
Yeah,
Hai
he,
la,
he
hai
he
la.
died a few days ago.
Oh, that's why he was in the news. Someone sent me something on the Slack message. I see.
Huh.
Well, there you go. In the series, in this particular series, he's the lead character and he loses his sight due to his gambling. But it shows again, it can really affect anyone around us, and it's even in popular culture as well. Next slide. When I was in Singapore 3 years ago, I was playing tag. I don't know if you understand tag. I tried to get an interpretation here. Chop Jian. Was playing tag with kids in the local street, and I found it was not a good idea to wear slippers because I fell very, very hard, and I lost a lot of skin on the open part of my hand, on my right hand, which is my dominant hand. I couldn't use a mouse during that time, and I was still doing my IT work remotely from Singapore. And so I had to use a keyboard only. I had, therefore, a temporary disability. When using a keyboard only, one of the things you need on your website is a focus indicator. So let me show you. Adam will play a video next showing the keyboard experience in using the Kmart website, which is a physical and online discount department store here in Australia, and Lazada, which is an e-commerce platform, a bit like HKTV Mall in Hong Kong. So Adam, if I can get you to play the video for me, please. So here you can see on this Kmart website, I'm actually hitting the tab key on the keyboard, and you can see in the blue border around each right now sign up, and now it's going onto the navigation. That's where the keyboard focus is. It's like your mouse cursor, and that's great. It helps me know where I am. I'm doing the same thing on this Lazada website, and you can see that in the status bar at the bottom left, you can see the address is changing. That means it's moving around. The tab key is moving around, but there's no focus indicator whatsoever. So I don't know where I am, and I'm wondering, where is my cursor? Now, this tool that you see that's just popped up, you see these blue squares. It's a tool that we use to actually then see in sites like this, where's the focus indicator? Is it in the right place? Is it moving in the correct order, top to bottom, left to right, as we would expect it as well? Adam also quickly mentioned this in one of his tips and go into it just a little bit more. Next slide, please. To bridge the gap, blind and visual impaired people can use screen readers that read what is on the screen. People with low vision can use screen magnification that zoom in on parts of the screen. These are known as assistive technologies. There are also alternative keyboards, mice, trackball switches, head pointers that attach to your head and point out where things are much like a cursor. And there are also speech recognition software available as well. Next slide, please. So I'd like to introduce and I'd like you to meet the big four screen readers. A screen reader enables people with vision impairment to use a computer or smartphone by reading the contents of the screen aloud. I'll tell you what, I'll let the screen readers actually introduce themselves. So I'll get Adam play this for you.
Hello, my name is Karen, heading level 1. I am a screen reader. A screen reader is software used by people with vision impairment. Screen readers don't have a UI, just lots of keyboard commands or touchscreen gestures. I am the Australian female voice of the voice-over image screen reader, but you can choose a different accent if you like. VoiceOver ships on many Apple image devices, including MacBooks, iPads, and iPhones.
Hi, my name is Google Talkback, heading 1. I'm another screen reader. I'm available in the Google Play Store graphic. I work on tablets and mobile devices running an Android graphic operating system.
Heading level 1. Hello, I'm Job Access with Speech. Blank. That's quite a mouthful, so you can call me Graphic Jaws. I am one of the most widely used screen readers worldwide. I was originally released for DOS way back in 1989. Nowadays I run on the Graphic Windows operating system.
Heading level 1 GD, I'm non-visual desktop access. You can call me NVDA. I am built for computers running Windows. My big advantage over JAWS is that I'm free of charge. I'm available to anyone who can access a computer. First cool NVDA fact, it's from Australia. NV Access is based in southeast Queensland. Second cool NVDA fact, 2 blind men built it, Michael Curran and James Tay. Third cool NVDA fact, it's open source. Functionality-wise, it's much the same as JAWS.
Hello, my name is Karen, heading. Hello.
Excellent. Did everyone catch that? Just in case you missed that, the first one was a VoiceOver. It comes standard with Apple devices. The second one that played was TalkBack. That's available on Google devices. Third one was JAWS. It's a paid product that's used on desktop. And then the last one's NVDA. It's free, it's open source, and you can actually go check out NVDA, do a Google search. It's free. Go and explore. It's really interesting to understand how someone with a visual impairment uses a screen reader. An interesting fact, people who use screen readers regularly often have the speech that you heard there playing at about 5 times the speed that we heard. Next slide. Equal access for everyone. Digital accessibility means people with disability can use technology equally. When technology is available to everyone, everyone can participate in society for education, employment, commerce, healthcare, and entertainment. Governments around the world have been increasingly publishing important information on websites and, of course, making services available digitally. Next slide. A law actually exists in Hong Kong. It's known as the Disability Discrimination Ordinance. I provided a link to this ordinance, but let me give you a quick summary. It says it is unlawful to discriminate on the grounds of disability. It is unlawful to discriminate against persons on the ground of their or their associates' disability. In other words, you cannot treat someone differently because of their disability or deny them access. And this part here, in respect of the access goods and services, it speaks of the scope. Does your website provide goods, services, and facilities? A majority of websites you build will fall under this definition. Next slide, please. Accessibility is a human right. Access to information, communication, and technology is a human right because we rely on technology for so many parts of our everyday activities. The United Nations considers access to technology and the internet a human right. Next slide. Now, I just told you that there's a law in Hong Kong. There are quite a few all around the world, in Australia and the US as well. And this is what typically happens. When someone has a complaint, there are 2 avenues for it. One is via the Equal Opportunities Commission in Hong Kong. It was established in May 1996. It's a statutory body responsible for implementing, amongst the disability discrimination ordinance, also the sex discrimination, the family status discrimination, and the race discrimination ordinance in Hong Kong. So when there is a complaint, someone in the public might go to the EOC, and the EOCs will try to mediate between the 2 parties so it doesn't have to go further and try to work things out. And hopefully it doesn't go into legal action. Alternatively, someone's not satisfied with that or wants to pursue things further, they can go to court and take legal action. In Australia, the first landmark court case was the Sydney Olympics in the year 2000. Bruce Maguire, a blind person, was unable to access the website to find information about events. The court ruled Maguire was unlawfully discriminated against and that the Sydney Olympic Committee needed to update its site to comply with accessibility standards. This resulted in bad press and negative publicity. In the US, there have been several organizations that have been taken to court. Amongst them are Domino's. Domino's Pizza settled a court case for an undisclosed sum. Experts estimate millions in legal fees and 6 years in litigation. Target, a retail department store in the US, was also sued under the American Disabilities Act. They settled for $6 million. Harvard University was sued for failing to caption online video and audio content. The university settled for $1.5 million plus commitments to implement full compliance. Next slide. There is an international standard for digital accessibility, and it comes down to WCAG. And here we have our second tip. WCAG stands for Web Content Accessibility Guidelines. It's pronounced as WCAG. The accepted standard around the world is to meet this WCAG version 2.2 level AA, of which there are 55 success criteria. What is a success criteria? An example of a success criteria says any keyboard operable user interface has a mode of operation where the keyboard focus indicator is visible. This simply means you need to have a focus indicator on your website or your app, very much like the example I gave you and demonstrated before. Beyond WCAG, we should also run UX research and adopt best practices. Now, you've just heard about what is accessibility and why it's important. Let us give you some practical tips that you can use in your WordPress sites. Over to you, Adam.
Thanks, Darren, and hi, everyone. I'm Adam, accessibility consultant now, but WordPress developer for many years myself. So I'm going to focus specifically on accessibility in WordPress, and thank you all for having us tonight. So I've deliberately simplified accessibility in WordPress into these 3 buckets for the purposes of this presentation. There are certainly edge cases and specialist topics, but if you're building a typical WordPress website, almost every issue I find when I'm doing an accessibility audit can be traced back to one of these 3 areas. The foundation that developers build, the content that editors publish, and the interactions, and in particular forms that users rely on to complete tasks. Keeping this mental model in mind makes accessibility much more approachable. And in this presentation, I'm going to cover 2 of the 3, the foundations and the interactions, and I'm particularly with the interaction side of things going to focus on forms. So starting with the foundation, my first bit of advice is don't trust the theme demo. Accessibility Ready, the Accessibility Ready tag in the WordPress .org sort of themes section describes that theme's default state, not what happens once a client adds real content or branding or content or page builder blocks on top of that. So common issues that you could experience could be problems with heading hierarchy, where someone's picked a H4 as the first heading on the page because it looks like what they want it to look like, and in doing that, they've skipped H2, H1, H2, and H3. That breaks screen reader navigation. You could have low contrast branding, so brand colors dropped in, and that means body text might now fail color contrast, for example, because someone's decided that they're going to use a particular brand color with low contrast for your body text. You've got things like sliders and carousels that are added later that don't have a pause control or any keyboard support. You've got things like menu customizations for mega menus that don't properly manage focus and potentially could have keyboard users getting stuck. And you've of course got the page builder output that is usually div heavy markup, and that buries the theme's semantic HTML. So WordPress.org accessibility ready tag is a really good signal, but it's tested empty. It's not tested with your content. So a theme being accessibility ready doesn't necessarily mean that a final site will be accessible. So quick demo here showing actually a similar thing that that Darren showed, and I just realized my video was not playing, so excuse me. So in this here, I'm tabbing through the site. Focus is visible for a while and then it disappears. I'm about to hover over a thing here. There we go. And you can see that things appear on hover. I keep tabbing. I can open accordions and I can tab on accordions, but I have no idea which one that I'm opening because there's no focus state. And I'm also now tabbing through the footer. You can see there is some focus state there. I'm now in the form field with no label because they're using placeholders. And I've just highlighted all the headings on the screen here. And as we scroll down, you'll see that most of the headings on the page here are H2 headings, which means for screen reader users, there's no actual proper structure to this page when they're navigating through, even though visually you can see a pretty decent looking hierarchy. So what I want to do is give you a tip here and a simple test that you can perform on any of your sites pretty easily. And this goes back to what Darren and I both showed you actually, and it's that focus related criteria or the ability to move around your website and to the interactive elements and interact with them. So using the tab key and the shift plus tab key, you can move forwards and backwards. Tab goes forward, shift tab goes back. You can use enter and spacebar keys to activate things, and you can use the escape key to close things. While doing this check, you can check if you can reach every interactive element, so nav, search, filters, buttons, etc. Is there a visible focus indicator every time? So the example that we just showed. Can you open a drop down or a modal? And just as importantly, can you close it as well? And if you close it with the escape key, do you land back where you were before you opened that modal? And the key thing to test is, do you ever get stuck? So as you're tabbing around and you're opening and closing dialogues, etc., does focus disappear, for example, and you don't know where you are, or does it jump unexpectedly to the top of the page when you're originally in the middle of the page? A test like this, what it does is it shows up problems for keyboard users, including screen reader users, or anyone with a mobility impairment who might need to use a keyboard in order to access the web and use their computers. So I'm going to, in the next section, mention something called ARIA. So before I dive into that, I want to give you a really quick intro as to what that is and how it works. But before I do that, show of hands for anyone has anyone heard of ARIA? We've got at least one. Thanks, Victor. So ARIA, or WAI ARIA as it's known officially, is the Accessible Rich Internet Applications specification. And it helps make dynamic content and advanced custom controls more accessible for assistive technology users, and in particular, screen reader technology. ARIA defines roles and ARIA attributes that can be added to HTML markup, and those roles and attributes convey the role of a thing, the state of something, properties and values of any of those complex components as well, that may not be able to be communicated using standard HTML elements. So you add these attributes to your HTML, and that communicates particular things to assistive technologies. And I'll demonstrate some of those a bit later on in the session. But ARIA doesn't actually make anything automatically accessible on its own. It only describes it. So specifically, it doesn't make components focusable. It doesn't add any event handlers. It doesn't change any interaction patterns or browser behavior, or update any toggle or properties or values of any components itself. All of that markup and behavior is still on you to build as developers. So the ARIA just gives you a way to communicate things. You've still got to build the functionality and the event handlers and all of that sort of stuff so that, for example, it responds to the keyboard commands. If you're opening up a combo box and typing and it gives you suggestions, you need to sort of put that together so that when you're using your arrow keys, you can actually make a selection of the choices that appear. It's not automatically done for you just by adding the ARIA attributes. Right, so let's get back into our main topic. We're moving from the foundation into the interaction layer here, and in this case, we're looking specifically at forms because forms are often where accessibility can collapse even on an otherwise solid site. And really that's because they're often the only part of the site that a user must interact with. So if they're doing something, they've got to, if they're on an e-commerce site, for example, they've got to fill out their details to check out, etc. If they want to contact you, they've got to fill out a contact form. So that's kind of why I've chosen to focus on forms here. And common WordPress forms issues. So we saw a couple of them in the demo I showed earlier. They can use placeholder as a label, which vanishes when you type into that field. In that video I showed when I was in the footer, there was a field with some text typed in it. So you didn't know what that field was actually labeled. When the text got removed, you notice that they're using the placeholder as the label for that field, which is pretty unreliable for screen readers and also can cause issues for just generally all users as well. Because if a field is filled in and there's no label, you don't necessarily know what that field is and whether you've filled it out properly. We've also got instances where you might be missing field sets and legends and related fields aren't grouped. So sometimes, and I'm going to show you an example in a second, you've got fields that are grouped pretty visually, obviously, but they're not grouped in code. Again, that causes problems for assistive technologies. Similarly, you've got potential issues with error association where either an error isn't shown visually or if it is shown visually, it's not properly linked to its field. You can use ARIA to do that. So one of the ways you can do that is to use ARIA described by to link an error to its field. Inaccessible validation. So you might have color only or icon only, no text and no announcement for screen readers, which means they might not actually get all of the required information in order to solve their errors. Required fields may or may not be flagged. So no asterisk, for example, or in code, no ARIA required. And you could have broken things like combo boxes, date pickers, etc., that can definitely cause issues when a user is trying to complete a form. This is not a which plugin problem necessarily from a forms perspective, because even good plugins like Gravity Forms, Contact Form 7, Formidable Forms can have issues depending on their configuration. So what I'm going to go through here doesn't necessarily speak to a particular plugin. They're general kind of issues that sometimes need to be resolved. So here's an example of missing grouping. In this scenario, if you use sections on your form, there's often times where some of these forms plugins don't group these sections properly, so they don't get grouped either using a field set and legend or ARIA, even though the grouping is visually obvious. So you can see here there's a personal details grouping. It's got the first name, last name, and email, but that grouping actually isn't evident in code. So if someone's going through with their screen reader, they'll hear the individual fields, but they won't necessarily hear that it's the personal details grouping that they're inside. Another common issue area is form validation and error messages. Common pattern that's used is a lot of these platforms will add role equals alert to every inline error. That works in theory because screen readers should actually queue alerts, but in practice, with a more complex form, what happens is the alerts tend to override each other and compete. So what's better to do in this case is to reserve the alert role for critical action blocking messages, things like your session has expired.
Okay. Darren, is he frozen?
Yeah, I think he is for me too.
Okay. So let's
Just give me a
wait a
sec.
bit. All right. Before it comes back, I want to
Yeah.
tell you that I actually Googled Patrick Jay. Yeah,
Yeah.
and he's definitely Jay. Yeah,
Okay.
the guy, the old actor who just died a few days ago.
Yeah.
All right. But do you want to text Adam?
I will text Adam. Yeah.
Yeah, make sure that he
Texting you
knows
now.
that he is actually frozen. Yeah, and
I think he's dropped down coming back.
all right, okay.
He lost power. Oh dear.
Okay. All right, let's wait a little bit.
Yep. More power.
So do you have any things to tell the audience while
Yeah,
he
are you
is
coming back soon or will
coming
it
back?
take a while? It's back now. Okay. Okay. Okay, good. What a good timing. Perfect timing for a power outage. Yeah. It's okay. We're waiting for you. No worries. Bye. Yeah, coming. Bye.
All right, what's the news?
He'll be about a minute or two.
Okay,
He said power's come back. His computer restarting. So there's about a
okay.
minute or two. So sorry, everybody.
So meanwhile, you do some stand-up comedy.
Oh, would you like me play my guitar? Would you like
Okay,
oh,
since we
actually,
have
no.
nothing else to
Actually,
do.
wait. Better yet. I will show you. If you want to come out, I've got a bud. Look, this is my room. I've got a little bird cage. I've got a little bird here.
Yeah.
Let's see if she'll come out for you because she likes to come out, but it might be a bit. This is her nighttime. I'm going to try using food. Let's see. Come on, Lizzie. Good girl. Look, show everybody how beautiful you are. Look at you. Aren't you pretty? Aren't you pretty? You are now a star in Hong Kong. Look at you. Okay, looks like Adam's in the waiting room.
Mhm. Is it? Okay,
Yep.
yeah. Let's see. Okay.
Oh, there you
And
go. That's
then
the one.
I
Come
have
on,
to make
step up.
him
Step up.
co-host.
Good girl.
Cool.
Good
All right,
girl.
welcome
Come on.
back.
Well done. There you go. Okay, back to your cage. We've got Adam now. Oh, let him get his slide ready first. What else can you do? What else can you do? Come on. Good girl. Well done. One more. Well done. Good girl, Lizzie. There you go. There you go.
All right, meanwhile, let me do this.
Nice. Like that. Like that. So she's 1.5 years old, actually.
Mhm. Okay.
People keep budgies, Hong Kong, I assume you do. There you go. Back you go. Okay. Adam's back now.
All right, so no guitar.
Oh, sorry. I would love to. Maybe after if you let me.
Yeah, I was just trying to say that I'm a little bit disappointed there's no singing tonight.
Oh, really? I'll do it. I'll do it for you, man. I'll do
All
it
right,
for you.
Adam.
Adam's on mute. Oh, your mic's not working.
Hey, Adam. We don't hear you. Have you said anything?
Sound. Yep.
Just checking if you guys can hear me.
Yes.
Hi,
Nice.
Adam. Welcome back.
Really, really sorry about that. I'm not sure what was going on there, but unfortunately, we lost power for a second there, and that meant that
Oh,
I
okay.
lost connection to everything.
Okay.
So where was I? I was talking to you about inline errors and role equals alert, and in
Yep.
particular to reserve role equals alert for critical actions that are blocking. So, for example, your session's expired. And for inline errors to instead link those errors to the field and allow users to read those errors as they're moving through. So if you link your errors to your fields using ARIA described by, what happens then is you can, on error, focus to the first field in error, and then the user from there can move down through the form. And if the errors are linked, it will announce the field label, any messages in those fields, or any content in those fields, as well as then the error message that's associated if there's an error in that field. Similarly, one of the other problems we encounter a lot is there's no out of the box option for an error summary. So if you've got a really long form, sometimes what you get is something like this, where you've got multiple fields on the form and you've got a few errors, but all you've got is a single line summary, and focus is moved to that first field with the error. That works fine for short forms, and you can add icons to your errors for a quick win there as well. But for longer forms, this pattern gets a lot weaker, and for some users, it's actually the difference between being able to complete the form or not. And similarly, for multi-page forms, there's usually issues with focus management between pages. So the demo I'm going to show here will show moving to the next page with a no screen reader announcement as a screen reader user's moving through. Nothing happened until you press tab, which leaves screen reader users quite confused. So I'm going to just play this, and hopefully I've shared my audio, but do let me know if you can't hear it.
On here.
Okay. Um, Let me just. All right. Okay, it says I'm sharing audio, so let me just. I'm really sorry about this, everybody.
That's okay.
Checked. Previous
Yep.
next button.
Thanks.
Select your sessions grouping. Which sessions do you plan on attending? Check.
So as you may have noticed there, I moved from the first page to the next page. There was no announcement, and then I had to press the tab key in order to work out that I was actually on a different page or a different set of controls. I guess though, I'll say it again. I've said it a couple times here, I think, but no platform is perfect, and this is not a which plugin do I choose problem. The key is choosing something that's got some sensible defaults, but is also easy to customize.
Next button.
And for me, that's where Formidable Forms comes in. I use that in particular because it gives us a strong foundation of pretty accessible defaults, and it gives us the controls we need to build properly accessible experiences. It's well documented, it's extensible, and any accessibility bugs I report actually do end up getting fixed eventually. This is not a product ad, it's not perfect. There are issues. And everything that I've just shown you was actually issues with the Formidable Forms defaults. So these are problems out of the box, but I guess what I'm saying here is I like this platform in particular because things are pretty easy to fix. So to wrap things up, I wanted to say that all the issues that I talked about just then can actually be fixed. We can add field set and legend groups to fields. We can remove role equals alert and add an error summary. And we can fix multi-page form focus so that it goes to a heading with a summary of your errors. Sorry, that was the error summary actually. You can remove the role equals alert, and for your error summary, when an error occurs, focus on the summary heading that gives you a list of errors that then allows you to move through through the fields to the actual fields in error instead of having to go through every one. And we can fix multi-page form focus so that it goes to the first heading on the page when moving between pages so that screen reader users and keyboard users get logically put in the right place to take their next steps. You put all these together and not only do you have an accessible form, but you've got an experience that works for everybody. I've got one final demo here.
Main landmark. Document. Job application. Final grouping. Personal details grouping. First name star edit required blank. One password menu is available. A, D, E, M. Last name star edit required blank. Email star edit required blank. A, D, E, M, at, I, N, T, O, P, I, A, dot, D, I, G, I, T, A, L, phone, optional, edit blank, next button. Job main landmark. There were the following problems with your submission. Heading level 2 list 1. Please provide your last name. Please provide your last name same page link. Job application, final grouping. Personal details grouping. Last name star edit required invalid entry error.
So as you saw there, I deliberately left a field blank. And what happened then was it moved to the next page. It focused on the error summary. I was able to tab to the link in that error summary, hit enter, and it moved me into the first field with an error. So everything that we've just gone through as sort of problems can absolutely be fixed.
Main landmark.
Accessibility cost isn't a fixed cost though, it scales when you address it. So what I kind of want to say here is a contrast fix in Figma is a color swap. That same fix after 200 pages of shipped and alive in production is a much, much bigger job. If you build it into each stage, so design systems, content workflows, component libraries, QA, etc., then you're going to have a much, much easier time making your site accessible than if you wait until things have gone live and then try to address afterwards by retrofitting. These are some rough industry estimates, not exact figures, but fixing an issue at the design stage is the baseline. It's 1 times. You leave it until implementation, it's roughly 5 times the cost. By integration testing, that becomes 10 times. And by post-release, that's around 30 times. The point isn't necessarily the precise multiplier here, it's that the same fix gets dramatically more expensive the later it's caught in the development process. So before we finish up, we've got a couple of things that we want to share with you all. You can scan the QR code and get some free tools and resources. We've got a WCAG 2.2 map that visually represents WCAG success criteria that Darren talked about as a nice visual map. We've got an acceptance criteria generator app that will generate acceptance criteria and component requirements. We've got some bookmarklets that will help with testing. And just noting that all the browsers these days have accessibility inspectors and contrast checkers built in as well, so you can check those out. And because this is a WordPress meetup, I wanted to leave you all with something WordPress specific as well that you can all use. All of the form issues that I showed earlier can be fixed with these Formidable Forms add-ons that I've built. Some have setting screens that you can configure with different options. Others you just upload and activate. If you scan the QR code, it takes you to the GitHub repo with the plugins covering everything that we've discussed today, plus a couple more things. If you do end up using them and find issues, please feel free to hit me up or log an issue on the GitHub repo. And that's us. Our contact details are on the slide there, and I'm going to stop my share and throw back to Victor.
Okay, so thank you very much for our presentation. Now we are going to open the floor to the audience who maybe you have some questions about accessibility that you want to ask our speakers. Do you have any questions? Well, if they don't have any, then I'll ask one. Now, I build websites for my clients, right? And accessibility needs work, and that means time, that means cost to the clients. So, do you have any like a playbook of how I can convince my clients to do accessibility so that I can have a bigger project and have some more income from the same project?
I think we can both answer this. I think we both have
You go first, Darren.
points of view. So for me personally, I think that I mentioned before, right? There are two ways. One is to hit people hard with the law. Hey, it's the law. You get sued. That just is not the best way. Sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. You kind of feel your way around it, right? So that's one way. That's using a bit of a stick. The other one is going what I introduced to you before about, hey, you know what? This is actually going to benefit you. We're all getting older. Our eyesight's getting worse each day. Our hearing's getting worse. It's going to help us. It's not about doing it for someone else. So sometimes it can be as easy as a demonstration like what we showed you, and just helping someone realize for themselves that, hey, your parents are using this website as well. Do you think they could see this and with the problems that they have as well? So really try and make it something that people go, this is just the right thing to do, right? Now, you don't have to do everything that we talked about. Doing a little bit, even that simple keyboard test that Adam talked about, it's going to make a huge difference to a lot of people already. And sometimes we also say, with hopefully the knowledge we give you, yes, you do want to get paid more, do more work, but also we hope that you just try to do this in your own work. So it's not something extra. It just becomes just like riding a bike. You learn something new, just becomes very natural and easy to do as well. Adam.
I'll say the other thing too there is you open your website up or your application, whether it's a web or app, whatever it is, to more users and more customers, because the more accessible something is, the more usable it is. And one of the things that we talk about here in Australia is we look at, because there are stats, and I'm sure there are in Hong Kong as well. I don't necessarily know the exact stat, but in Australia, there's usually the number is 20% of the Australian population has some form of disability, and the Australian population in particular is aging. So that's one of the things we talk about in terms of, by doing accessibility and fixing some of the accessibility issues, you're opening your market and the people that can buy your products, etc., to an additional potentially 20% more people than you would have otherwise if there were things that were inaccessible, because you've made it usable to a broader range of people.
Okay.
I love your question, Victor, because we get asked this a lot in our industry as well. So it's definitely a very common question. Thank you for asking.
Oh, sure. So, any other questions from the floor? Like I told you guys, they are shy, so I am sure that they're going to talk about this during dinner. All right, so now how about we? Well, it's time to present our certificate of appreciation. Hold on, let me share. Yeah, souvenir presentation. All right, so we are going to take a picture together with this certificate. Like I told you before, this is a fake one because each of you are going to have your own with your own name in it. And for the time being, Matt, can you give the phone box to the audience so that we can take the pictures with you? with the message from our sponsors. And then I have to follow my own instructions that, yeah, I actually did not practice. Sorry about that. So, yeah, let's see
No
if I
worries.
can do it quickly. I'll do this and then
That's better. Yeah.
stream. Yeah.
Oh
And
yeah. Oh yeah.
then this one. All right. Can I have somebody in the first row to hold a phone board? Okay, good. All right. Let's take a picture and please look at the camera. All right. 1, 2. Okay, we'll try another one. 1, 2. One more because for the first one I didn't look at my own camera. Okay. All right, let's see what we have got. It should be. All right, is that good?
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
All right. All right, let's take a picture again. This time
One more. Yeah. Go.
without the certificate. But the audience here, please do not leave after this because we are not finished yet. We're, actually, no. I always have trouble, switching between different things. Okay, so I'm going to have this one. I'm going to rearrange. All right.
快啲
Again.
啦
1, 2. Okay, again. Okay, last one. All right, let's see again what we've got. All right, this satisfied.
Yep.
I
Sounds
am.
Nice.
Looks good.
Yeah.
Because
多謝多謝，食飯
all
啦。
right, so yeah, so thank you again, and yeah, so I guess the audience have already given you a round of applause. So
Thank you.
right, so yeah, thank you very much, and I hope to see you sometime. I talked about WordCamp Asia with you, so
Yes.
maybe there will be a chance that we can meet. It's yeah, let's see, and let's keep in touch.
Absolutely. If any questions come up from tonight's dinner as well, let me know.
Mhm.
Let Adam
Okay.
and I know as well.
Okay,
I'd
good.
love to hear the feedback as well.
Okay.
Please. Thank you.
And sorry again about my power outage.
Well, that's okay. I experienced that a few weeks ago, so I know how it felt. All right.
Sorry I didn't get to play the guitar for you too, Victor, while you're waiting for that.
Yeah, we have to wait next time. All right. Bye-bye.
Thank you all.
Bye.
Have a good night.
好啦，到翻呢個中文時間啦，咁就因為時間都咩啦，搭三啦，咁所以我哋就唔做呢個 Q&A 同 discussion 啦。如果有嘢問嘅話咧，就可以等到食飯嗰時講啦。好啦，咁啊做快快脆脆做埋個 closing 啦，咁就我哋經常都係需要 speaker 啦。咁如果你係有一 啲嘅 topic 啊，想同我哋嘅呢個members 啊，或者係嚟聽 talk 嘅人分享嘅話咧，都可以submit 你嗰個 topic 嘅。咁喺張 slide 上面你見到有一個 QR code 啦，咁可以 scan 咗佢啦，咁就可以報名啦。又或者係上我哋個 website 嗰度 hkwp.me 嗰度，去到 Be a Speaker 嗰一版咧就可以填張 form 噶啦。咁我可以話俾你聽咧，就應該唔係好 accessible 嘅。咁今晚或者翻去我都有睇下有啲咩可以做得到啦，咁樣。好啦，咁啊 volunteer 啦，我哋都繼續要嘅，即係尤其是我哋第100次嚟緊啦，同埋有10週年啦，咁想做一啲嘅 design 嘅嘢，咁所以如果你係有一啲 design 嘅經驗嘅，咁就請同我哋聯絡，咁一定可以幫到我哋嘅。咁另外 video editor 啦，我哋都仲有一啲嘅 meetup 係未剪嘅，我諗都有成10個咁多，咁好需要大家幫手嘅。咁如果大家可以幫得到嘅話，亦都係可以上我哋嘅 website 度填緊張 form，或者一陣間食飯，或者未落到去啦，咁都可以同我哋傾一傾。好啦，咁就如果想 share 相嘅話，就可以 scan 呢個 QR code 啦。咁我俾幾秒鐘大家 share，scan 呢個 code。咁唔 scan 嘅話都可以 hkwp.me/photo99，遲啲上到去亦都可以去翻嗰個Google Photo Album 嘅。好啦，咁就到食飯啦。今日人唔係好多啦，咁所以可能每個人嗰個津貼會比較多一啲，都唔頂嘅。咁都係去翻嗰間噶啦，就樂天冰室，就喺大馬路嘅對面嘅啫。咁就喺完咗之後，等我哋大概10分鐘執嘢，跟住就可以行得。好啦，咁再多謝翻我哋嘅 sponsor 啦。咁第一就係呢個場地嘅sponsor Coffees 啦。咁另外就係 Kinster 啦。咁actually Kinster 原本佢哋嗰個 sponsorship 咧就到下一次嘅啫。咁但係我哋已經咧就同佢哋傾咗啦。咁下年咧，即係唔好下年啊，跟住即係第101次開始咧，嗰12次咧。食飯嘅錢咧係會多50%嘅，咁多謝佢哋先啦嚇，咁多謝我自己啦，即係同佢哋可以傾得到翻嚟啦。好啦，咁下一次咧就第100次啦，咁就整咗個 logo 咁樣啦，咁其實都係攞翻以前webcam 嗰陣時嗰個 mascot 嚟到做翻啦，應該下一次會有個 phone board 嘅，咁睇下整唔整得切。咁就日期咧就會係8月11號啦，咁就都係好快嘅啫。咁今次咧我哋亦都知道咧究竟邊個嚟講嘢啦，就會係 iPhone Show。咁今日亦都同佢再 touch base 過，咁應該會係佢嘅。好啦，咁就係咁多。咁我哋咧就等我出嚟就同大家一齊影一張合照先，然之後跟住就執嘢。